The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
Hello Cherries fans and welcome to this Raw reaction video following our 1-0 defeat against Chelsea at Dean Court. Disappointing, but we'll come into that. Here's a little bit about our sponsors, Dental on the Banks first. Find out what they can do for you, visit dentalonthebanks.co.uk. So, of course, like I say, we was beaten 1-0 by Chelsea with a goal in the 86th minute of the game by Nkunku, who, to be fair, it was a very, very well taken goal. You know, he held off our defenders. Great assist by Jadon Sancho, but let's not make this all about Chelsea because, to be fair, we were excellent on the day. And I think Enzo Maresca, if you was to ask him honestly, what did he make of the game? I'm sure that he would say that he's probably robbed a, victory from us. I went into this game with a lot of faith because Chelsea, I personally think, are a team of individuals. They have got individual quality. They are excellent as individual players. So much as a team, I'm not so sure. I thought that our lineup was actually quite good. Of course, Mark Travers did play in goal. We all expected that. Let's be fair. We all expected that because of Kepa. Being, Chelsea is his parent club, going from Real Madrid to Dean Court. Well, a fantastic coup for us. But, I expected the team that we set out with. For Chelsea, though, I'll be perfectly honest, I couldn't really make head and tail of what they were going to do. Cole Palmer, of course, is an excellent player. You'd expect him, if he's fit, to be on the team sheet for them. And yeah, they've got so many players and they've got so much rotation that, I think Pochettino, like I was saying in the preview, had got it right for them. I just feel that it's kind of gone a little bit downhill. And, since Enzo Maresca's taken over, he did well in the early spells with Leicester City, but to be fair, that was a side that was already very, very strong and, should have been competing at the top end of the league. The case that, he really did stumble over the line when really they could have claimed, the record points and things like that. And lots of records, doesn't, bear well for him. But hey, he's there, and I thought we started out very, very well. We was winning the ball back. So when Chelsea got the ball, we was right at them. We was winning the ball back. We was in their face. We was tough tackling. It was controlled. It was sensible. Marcus Tavernier. Now, of course, I've got to say this. I've not got the same opinions as a lot of fans about this, but I thought he was very, very good. And I think, if anybody, he's probably the man of the match. He probably waned in the last, 10 minutes before he was taken off by Areola. I think the substitution was sensible. But, his strike and that ball that when it floated, just an inch underneath, and we could have been talking about one of the goals of the season. I think every player was working their socks off. I think Lewis Cook, quite a few of his passes were, excellent straight through the middle, but um, there was some that went awry. You have Ryan Christie works his backside off every single game. And we'll come back to Christie because, of course, he was replaced by Alex Scott, who I think struggled a little bit. I think there's a lot of work. There's been a lot of talk about Alex Scott being somebody who is potentially going to go higher than Bournemouth. At this moment in time, I don't see that myself. Kirke's excellent, excellent. Senesi, winning that ball for a Chelsea attack. You know, Jackson maybe should have hit it first time, but again, he was brilliant. Zabania, dependable. Adam Smith, I think, even though I was a little bit concerned because of the pace, I think, the pace was a big concern for me. Of course, Adams lost his pace a little bit throughout the years. He is one of the older players, but he stays a little bit further back and reads the game so well. And Semenyo, my man Semenyo, I think he's the first name on the team sheet for me every single week. I absolutely love the guy. Absolutely love the guy. Justin Kluivert, you know, you you could see what you was going to get from him. I think when he got, his booking, I think we had to make a substitution. We had to take him off because I think I was a little bit worried that he was getting a little bit ratty, a little bit frustrated because we couldn't get ourselves in front. Um, which is the biggest problem. Which is the biggest problem. We haven't got that outlet at the moment, and somebody to actually put the ball in the back of the net, unless it comes from anywhere else. Now we know Justin Kluivert can score. We know Semenyo can score. Marcus Tavernier should have scored. If it was only an inch lower, he would have scored probably one of the goals of the season. I think in honesty, we have got goals elsewhere, but we need to take our opportunities against a team like Chelsea because they have got those players individually that are very, very good and that moment of brilliance. And so it showed. And Evanilson, I need to mention Evanilson because he is new to English football, but and he does work hard. He's strong. He does, make some really good runs. He's quick, but I think he's lacking a little bit in confidence in front of goal. We saw it a couple of times. When he got into some really good positions, there was one position that he got himself in, and you thought hit it first time, and then of course he won the penalty. Now, my argument, I think Justin Kluivert should have taken the penalty. The reason being is A, he's a very, very confident person anyway. But secondly, I think, we would have scored and we had to take that opportunity. Evan Nilsson's run up, as you'll see in a moment, because I did, get a little bit of footage because I thought it was going to be his first goal. And I'm sad to say, I was recording it and thinking, oh, yeah, got his first goal here. And it didn't happen. So his run up, he kind of did this thing where he went to one side and went to the other side, and then at the time it looked a very, very tame penalty. It was, when you watch it back on, I watched Match of the Day quite late last night, probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was very, very well placed. It was to the far right bottom hand corner. But to be fair, it was a good save by Sanchez. Now, don't get me wrong, Sanchez should not been on the pitch anyway. He shouldn't have been on the pitch because he absolutely clattered. If he was going for the ball, which I question whether or not he was at that point when the contact was made, you could say, right, fair enough. But it seems like at that point, it was a case of, right, okay, I'm beaten here. And then it was a case of just bringing down Evanilson. That's how it felt to me. Um, he hasn't got confidence at the moment, and Enes Unal, I rate Unal. I like Unal. The problem is I don't think he does what Solanke does, and this was the biggest problem when we sold Dominic Solanke. It was the dropping back, bringing other players in. It wasn't just the goals. That's why he's going to be a success for Spurs. And he drops back, he builds play up. And we had so many opportunities, so many opportunities. I'm not sure exactly how many it was. We didn't get the lion's share of the possession, but when we did lose possession, we got it back quite quickly and was quick to move forwards. But I think it was 19 or 20 shots that we had, and at least half of those were on target. I think, without looking at the stats. So personally, yeah, I'm really gutted. Let's just have a look at that Evan Nielsen penalty. Yeah, I think really, if you step up to the spot, you need to be converting that. It's just so gutting. It was just that edge to one side. It made it easy for Sanchez. Like I say, shouldn't have been on the pitch. Chelsea should have been down to 10 men. And when you don't take your opportunities against a side like that, you are going to possibly fall foul. Overall, I thought our team did very, very well. I haven't got any complaints. I'm not going to turn around and throw anybody under the bus. I know that there's been quite a few people that have, but personally, I think we played very, very well. We played better against Chelsea and lost than we did against Everton and won. Yeah, Everton, we played well for about 8 minutes and we won the game by that miraculous turnaround. But it wasn't a good performance up until that point. So I'm not blaming the players tonight. I think they did very, very well. I don't think Travers did anything wrong. I think it was always going to be very difficult for him to save that one. And I think Iriola, hey, let's look at it this way. Enzo Maresca at Chelsea, because they have got so many players, has got so much of a better bench to actually pick from. And I'm not being critical of our players here, but the thing is you look at the players, Jadon Sancho, regardless of what he's done at Manchester United, he's done very, very well. Felix is meant to be, an excellent player, and he's just not seemed to do it. Nkunku was excellent. Excellent when he come on. I think they even had Mudryk on the bench, didn't they? And yeah, I think it's it's one of those where, hey, we've just got to look at it and say, right, we were the better team, but we lost it. But we need to, when we play other teams, when we go up to Liverpool, we've got to actually take our opportunities if we get them. Let us know what you think. Let us know, what your views are of the team ahead of the Liverpool game. Do you think Iriola got it right, or maybe they got it wrong? Let us know. Do check out all of our interviews. We had a very, very special interview the other day. Very, very interesting. It's not going to be for everybody, I'm going to admit that, but at the same time, it was very, very interesting for anybody that's watched it, and I thank everybody for their lovely comments off the back of that one as well. We do have another special guest as well for our opposition preview show, and I tell you what, just to give you a little bit of a hint, it is dropping at 7 o'clock on Sunday, the 15th of September. So, just in case you're watching in the past, it's already up for you. In the future, I should say. In the past, you can't watch it in the past, can you? But in the future, it is actually being released on the same day. But if you've ever heard of a song called Good Enough, you might have a clue who it is. Think 90s. Think 90s. Thanks again, guys. we shall see you in the next video.
The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.